This is my first time. Thanks. Yay! It worked. Everything worked. Being in a new environment, I didn't test it out or anything, so I was like, well, hopefully this is all gonna go well.
I am so excited, Leah.
I am too. I'm so nervous. I was just saying yesterday, it's been so long since we had one alive together. I'm so excited because there's so much has changed with NeoGenesis, with us, so it's so excited to bring it back.
I feel this onward and upward, right? And
yes.
You have this gorgeous pink glow around you. It's so pretty.
Yes, this is my magic place. NeoGenesis shell, by the way. And one thing that we're going to talk about today, and I know everybody's super excited for, and I know you brought the new products, the new packaging to show everybody, because we unfortunately right now we only have the recovery and the eye serum and the new packaging. Hey Jay. So I'm excited, but I know everybody wants to see this packaging, but we're working on getting the new packaging in. But why don't you show everybody how beautiful it is now that I've shown a little bit of the space. I can show the rest of it.
So well with pink.
Yes.
Okay, so the recovery, I'm surprised I haven't ripped this open yet and slathered it all over myself.
Mm-hmm.
The booster and the skin serum. So it's going to be really nice. Our serums are going to be in this beautiful platinum packaging. Just absolutely lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some of the reasons we did this, as you know, the products are very high in protein molecules.
Mm-hmm.
And proteins really need protection from the environment. So we wanted airless packaging. So don't worry, every drop is going to come out of this for people.
Mm-hmm.
It protects it. It keeps it away from the air. Every time with a dropper, right, you're taking it out. Air is exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't hurt the product, but it can change it a little bit. It might start to get a little bit of a smell. That's the nature of the proteins, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to take care of it. I think they're just beautiful. I love flat packaging.
They are. Yeah, and they're going to work perfectly on display too.
Twist it up, right? Just like the moisturizers are already, but it's beautiful platinum. So I love this. I think it's super elegant. And I know that's not the most important thing. What's important is what's in here, but I love it.
Yes, no, I completely agree. And I do think it's important to have, good looking packaging for sure. I do. I like to look down and like look at my vanity and be like, I always pull the good looking stuff forward and put like the uglier stuff in the back. So
and then this is the new, I don't know if you've seen the sexy new hair thickening serum.
I have not in person. Like I've seen like a quick little snippet in an email and I was like, wow, that's beautiful. I'm really excited to get my hands on that.
It's very sexy, isn't it?
It's
sleek black, and it's got beautiful, it's got a black label with the information on it. You really need to keep the hair thickening serum in a dropper because you're dropping it on your scalp. And we tried other ways to do it, and it just doesn't work, right? And these are great, but they don't hold enough to put the thickening serum in. So we got these beautiful black bottles. It's a matte black.
I love that.
Silver cap. Love it. Love it.
And I like that. Is it like a turquoise on it? That's really, really, yeah. Whoever designed it, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And that actually takes us to a few questions. As you were talking, I was like, oh, that kind of points on some of the questions that everybody wrote in. And thank you guys. There were so many really like well thought out, intelligent questions that you guys asked. So I'm excited about that. One of them, let me go back to it really quick. So I think this will be a really good one just to actually start off this conversation for anybody who is new to NeoGenesis or hasn't watched our prior either YouTube videos or our prior lives in the past. Can you explain, it says a scientific explanation of the S2RM technology. So this is NeoGenesis technology for your skincare, hair care. Can you kind of explain that? Sorry, my light keeps going off. Can you explain that for everybody?
I can, and I would love to. You know, the beauty of it is it mimics a process that happens in our body all day, every day. So if you can imagine, as your skin receives damage, as those skin cells become damaged and they start to age, they need nutrients. They need to be brought back to a state of health. So they send out a signal, and that activates our own stem cells, the ones that live in the skin, in the dermal layer, the live layer, and in the subcutaneous layer or the fat layer. It activates them to begin releasing these healing molecules. They're correctly folded proteins, no genetic material whatsoever. And they go through a little process. They have to become three-dimensional and correctly folded. And when that is finished, they all pool together. And then the stem cell releases a lipid membrane. And that envelops those molecules, and it's intelligent delivery. So I know people following you, Leah, have heard of the exosome. So that's the smart delivery system. And what's so important about that is it understands that signal. It's able to take those healing molecules right to those damaged areas. And when it gets there, it can literally fuse together, and it forms a little tube that it feeds those proteins over to bring that skin cell back to a state of health.
That's wild.
Isn't it wild? And within that, it even gets better. So if we all know cells have a death, they don't live forever. And if that cell is too far gone, there are molecules within it called a proteasome that act like a recycling center. So it takes those cells that are no longer viable and it breaks them down into amino acids to be used by other cells. So it's this beautiful process that we mimic, because that process starts to lose some of its oomph. It declines as early as our 20s. And that's when we see those signs of aging start to show up. Our body just can't keep up. So we are able to recreate the exact same process but in the lab. And the most important thing we do at NeoGenesis is once you've stimulated those same skin resident stem cells to begin releasing those healing molecules, we need to get out of the way. They must become correctly folded. And if you take them out too soon, they won't be balanced and they won't have that beautiful, intelligent delivery system.
Right.
So the end process in the lab, just like in the body, are these intelligent exosomes. Topically, when they're applied, they can still pick up on the signal. They easily slip through the barrier of the skin and travel to damaged areas.
Right. And I love that. And, you know, it's kind of important to point, like, everything you just said, to kind of bring that back to, like, I know, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, like, what makes NeoGenesis different? And, you know, I think really everything you just said, there's so many other things too, but having this exosome technology, a lot of people don't realize, like, growth factors, the molecule's really big, and you have to have this really smart delivery system, or no matter how, like, it can be 100% growth factor, but if there's no way for it to penetrate the skin unless the skin's broken, it's not going to penetrate. So it can be, you know, really high in, you know, molecules or growth factors, but it has to have this really special delivery system. So, and I think that's why everybody obviously loves the product so much and sees these great results. So
I love it, and it's so natural. And then with the formulations, as you know, Leah, and everyone watching, we put an awful lot of thought into every single ingredient that surrounds the S2RM. It's really important to have skin-friendly ingredients that are bioavailable. So we have rather short ingredient decks, but everything is very carefully chosen to benefit the skin. I love that.
And I'm glad you just brought that up, because one of the questions was, hold on, it's right here. Why do some products have grapefruit peel oil? So as one of the ingredients, and I know you guys have talked about this before where it's different than an essential oil. So I think maybe explaining why that ingredient in there will be the perfect time.
You know, when I came on board 5 years ago, we had certain products like our intensive moisturizer and the skin serum that already had that scent. They were loved, well loved by people. They hadn't caused any sensitivity issues, and it's a very, very tiny amount of an essential oil. And so in a perfect world, we might not want to have scents in products. They can be sensitizing, but customers loved it so much, and we've had no issues with it, that we have left it there at this point. But we also have products that don't have scent. I'm a fan of I love the scent. But
I personally do as well.
I love the scent. My skin kind of likes no scent for the heavy duty. So Recovery, no scent. Booster, no scent. Eye Serum, no scent. Barrier Renewal Cream, no scent. So you can build a really effective skincare regimen without having that scent if you desire it.
And I'm gonna sound like a stalker, but if you guys go to the NeoGenesis Instagram and scroll back, and I'm telling you, you're gonna have to like scroll for a really, really long time. But I want to say, like, this time last year, there was a really great post on this exact discussion as well that really helped me, you know, answering this. So I really liked. Hopefully it's still there. But yeah, I think that post is really, really great as well for whoever asked that question. Recovery, dry your face out, and I know what I say with this question when I get it. So, but I would love to hear what you say. Can recovery dry the skin?
Well, Recovery on its own, it's not hydrating, nor is it drying.
Right.
It's this thin treatment serum that goes right to work to feed the molecules. So it is active, quite active. It goes through a balancing process in your skin. And I would be the first to say, as the skin balances itself, could you see changes to your normal hydration level? You could. But it very quickly balances it out. So you don't have to worry about that. It won't add hydration to the skin. But it's also, there's absolutely nothing in there to cause dryness. So if you first start using it and you feel a little more dry, just know that is your skin acclimating to all that activity and finding its way back to healthy balance.
Right. And it's really important to note, and I always tell people, that can happen with any product, not just a NeoGenesis product, not just Recovery. Any single product you bring into your skincare routine is going to affect your skin. Whether it speeds up cellular turnover, whether it makes you a little more oily, whether it makes you feel a little more dry. So it's not just this product, it's every single product, whether it be a cleanser or a serum or an SPF, can have this effect. So great point. And I always like to mention too, if you're worried about that, try Booster, because it is nicely hydrating. It's just a silky formula. It doesn't have as much growth factor, but some people don't need as much either. And it's more important for them to have a more hydrating, luxurious formula as well.
I couldn't agree more. And that's why I love Booster for really sensitive rosacea skin. It gives them that anti-inflammatory hydration along with the S²RM, and they can use it twice a day right away to start to calm the skin, reduce the inflammation, and hydrate at the same time. Love Booster.
Absolutely. When I first started using the NeoGenesis products, I did start with Recovery, and then I switched to Booster, and I love it so much. I mean, just that little bit of like silkiness really helps me and helps my redness so much. I still do use Recovery if I'm doing like nano needling, which, you know, I do like every so often, and that's what I prefer to use because I am sensitive. But yeah, so I usually have both on hand. But yeah, I typically reach for Booster more. Perfect. Okay. Best NeoGenesis product for acne or fading dark spots?
Recovery.
Perfect. That was easy. And actually, we just talked about this the other day. You and I did. Are there any new products on the horizon for NeoGenesis? I don't know if you're allowed to say or can give any information, but are you guys talking in the works? Anything happening?
It'll be our secret.
Oh, okay.
It'll be our little secret. Yes, we're very excited. We're doing a lot of acne case studies right now. And so we have developed a 2% salicylic acid gel. We have an acne treatment lotion that is 20% S squared RM. It's a super, super lightweight acne safe moisturizer for people with oily skin. If you have dry skin, you can go with the barrier renewal. So definitely that. We are also testing an 8% mandelic. We're super excited about.
I know. I'm so excited you gave that little sneak peek because I'm excited about that too.
And I'll tell you one more. There are other things as well, so stay tuned. But we are testing now, and it's in the final stages, a volcanic ash mask.
Yes.
It is so nice. It's gently exfoliating, but it does this beautiful mineral infusion into the skin. It's very dark. It's a dark green. It's so dark, it's almost black. And your skin feels just alive and refreshed and invigorated. I love it. And it's naturally got this incredible scent. It's just the ingredients. We've added nothing to it. And it just is so pleasant to use. I just love it. So we do have some things.
Cool. This year, maybe, hopefully?
Oh, yeah. The mask definitely this year. We're down to looking at packaging and how we're going to get it out and doing our final testing. So really excited about this mask that feeds in. And we're always, just so everybody knows, high on our list is a super effective, super safe pigment reducing serum. So it's going to have the S squared RM. It's going to have some really well-researched but ingredients that you may not have heard of. And we're definitely in the beginning stages of something very exciting with that. I get to test it next week.
Oh, tell me all about it.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Definitely keep me in the loop.
You will
very
be
cool. Yeah, I love that you guys are
just
doing
you and me.
So much behind the scenes. Yes. Too cool. Yeah, I love hearing all this exciting stuff happening. I know everybody else does too, but I especially am. Well, that actually brings me to the next question, because you actually said you guys are doing your testing. Somebody asked if these are third-party or independent studies that you guys do in your products.
What we're doing right now, we're testing them for efficacy. How do they work? How do people like them? So we have a number of people. Some are working with professional estheticians. Some came to us on their own. And we wanted to make sure we were looking for people that had a bit more serious acne issues. Maybe they have the whiteheads and pustules, blackheads, and some cystic irritation, itchiness. And we've been testing since December. And what we do is every 2 weeks we meet and we go over their ratings, their subjective ratings on how their skin is feeling, how it's working, how do they like using the products, because the best products in the world, if you don't like using them, you will just get away from it. And so we're figuring all that out, how they work best together. And incorporated with these is our recovery, is the barrier renewal cream if needed, and our MB1 spray, which has been really, really helpful for those that have. So that's how we're testing it right now. This test will go on for a minimum of 6 months. And I can tell you what's really exciting, we just did a little breakdown on it, is that everyone in the study, their skin is getting healthier. That is really exciting to see. We're seeing the numbers drop, maybe not fast. If they rated a 10, which is the worst, they're not suddenly dropping to a 2, but we're seeing over time that 10 getting down to 3s and 4s. Their skin's feeling healthy. And now adding in that mandelic acid, which is a new test product, we're able to lift the pigment left over from post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. You know, there's nothing worse than having a pimple and then having a mark a year later from
Yes.
the pimple, right?
Yep. It's the
You
worst.
still look broken out even though you're not. And it's working beautifully to take that skin, lighten it up, and heal that pigment. So really excited, but that's how we're doing our testing.
Yeah, and you know, I love that you kind of touched on, because it sounds just like what I say in my consults when people, you know, one of the questions I always ask is like, what is your preferred product consistency? Because you can have the product that works the best, it'll give you results in 30 days, but if you don't like the way it touches, the way it smells, the way it feels, the way it lays on your skin, you're not going to use it, and then you won't get results. So while 6 months sounds like a lot of time to people, it is so important to make sure that, you know, everybody loves the product. So that's great. Yeah. While you were talking, I saw a question, and it had to do with the dryness under the eyes. And it said, is barrier renewal cream good for the under eyes? And what I would, and you can actually, you know, piggyback on this. I'm sure they're probably, I know this customer, they're using it with, they're using eye serum as well, but can they go ahead and bring that barrier renewal cream up over top? Perfect. Yes. Good. Perfect. Okay, yeah, guys, keep putting in questions, because I got some really good ones, but we're kind of blowing through them here. The next one is, after somebody sees their esthetician, can they get microneedling, blah, blah, blah. Can they put recovery on immediately after?
Absolutely. That's the best time to do it. And if you can talk your skincare professional into it, I actually, when I do a microneedle, I like to put recovery first. And think of it not so much as infusing it into the skin, but feeding the skin, calming the skin, reducing any possible inflammation, because what you want is your skin to respond in the best possible way to the treatment. We don't want it to react and freak out. We want it to respond really positively, increasing that collagen in the skin. So I like to put it on first, then of course do the treatment. And then as soon as I gently clean the skin, if there's any debris or little pinpoint bleeding on the skin, apply the recovery while you have the channels. And oftentimes, you know, that's like an end point. I will say that the barrier renewal cream can be used after microneedling, and it will not sting. It has no scent, so it's very clean. And for those who live in a super dry climate, you also don't want to get too dry, too dehydrated. So here in Arizona, I like to use just a bit of the barrier renewal cream and then spray with the mist as you're healing.
That's perfect. And I'm actually going to read this out loud really quick, because when I post it, they won't be able to read these. But barrier is a great eye primer before concealer. So I'm actually going to try that. I had to say it because I'm sure somebody's going to not be able to see this great information. So thank you. Next question is there a product that is good for eczema? Or like, what's a routine you would recommend for somebody, one of your clients that has eczema?
With eczema, we've had a lot of success with recovery. And, you know, you're not actually stopping the eczema. It's an internal thing, but you can heal that damaged tissue. You could try Booster as well, but we usually recommend recovery first, followed by the barrier renewal cream. And I would suggest the recovery at least twice a day, even more if you're for that, but you can apply the barrier renewal cream as much as needed throughout the day to keep that area hydrated, to start to repair that damaged tissue. Many people have seen beautiful results. And once that area is healed, you can still continue. Our moisturizers, as you know, have the 5% of the S squared RM. So it's good to keep some molecules on that area to maybe help strengthen it to prevent future flare-ups from eczema. So then you can switch. It doesn't have to be recovery. You can go to a little bit of skin serum or just the moisturizer. And just know, I'm pointing because I get eczema in my elbow. Most of us know where we get it. If I'm in a flare, it's going to be right here. And so I treat that area especially. I want to avoid that at all costs. So now that I don't have any, I might take a little skin serum, and once a day, put a little skin serum on the area and follow with my body cream. And that's to help keep it strong and just the right climate to keep it healed.
Perfect. And the next question, which is a really good question, is, sorry, I lost it really quick. Is recovery safe for around the eye? And as we know, like a lot of ingredients such as like vitamin C, you know, you shouldn't really put like higher than like a 7 or 8% around the eye area. Now, recovery is this huge boost of, you know, active growth factors. So is recovery safe around the eye area, or is that something we should just really focus on the other areas of the face?
It's very safe. I take it right up to the lashes, and then up top. Don't forget under your brows. You know, over time we get a lot of little lines here on the side. Things start to fall a little bit. I take it right to the crease. It's very safely created to be able to use it. If you got it in your eye, which you won't, but if you did, it would. I'm clumsy. Yeah. It wouldn't harm you at all.
Perfect. That's great to know. And one question regarding, and this is kind of a twofold question because I've gotten this a few times via email. One is, can I use my recovery in the hair area? If I'm putting on my face, will it still have the same effect in the hair area as hair serum? Or if I get hair serum on my face, is it going to make my face grow hair? So those two always, like, well, the last one really kind of makes me chuckle. But what do you say when you get that question?
Well, I will tell you that in the hair thickening serum, it's 60% Escort RM, but some of the molecules are the same as for the skin because the health of the hair is quite dependent on the health of the skin around the hair. But we have a different subset of molecules in this to help recondition the hair follicle itself. It's a different mechanism. So if you used recovery on the scalp, there is a chance, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but there is a chance it might be helpful if the skin on your scalp was quite unhealthy.
Okay.
But you're not going to get the same kind of hair growth and repair that you will with the hair thickening serum because recovery lacks those molecules. And I don't recommend, hi Carla, I don't recommend using this on your face.
Perfect. Okay. Wonderful. That is great. We have like the best people. We love you guys too.
What? Leah,
I just been so sweet.
I just saw a question I want to answer.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm glad you can see it. I have my glasses on. I'm like so blind right now. So go ahead.
They ask about using recovery under Retin-A. And here's what I will tell you about that. I generally recommend using them at opposite times of the day. Recovery actually will pull more Retin-A into the skin, and it can be quite irritating that way. So my advice to everyone is use it at opposite times of the day or wait a significant amount of time, and I'm talking like 2 hours before applying your Retin-A. What we've noticed is with that natural delivery system, if you were to put on recovery and then follow right away with your Retin-A, it will literally help pull more of it into the skin. And Retin-A is so strong anyway, we don't want you to be irritated.
No.
You've gotten used to that Retin-A where it is. Your skin is responding well to it. Leave well enough alone.
Perfect. Now, is that the same thing for like skin serum, or is that just really recovery?
You know, I would still wait.
Okay.
I would still wait. I would, the thing about prescription, we know, and I know you teach this all the time, when you've got retinoic acid, no conversion needs to happen. So you are welcome to pair recovery with your favorite retinol product, your retinol, your retinol, whatever you're using. You are welcome to use those together, but when you've got a prescription product that needs absolutely no conversion whatsoever, it happens so rapidly that I would definitely space it, or if you want to use something like the Barrier Renewal Cream as a buffer, But generally speaking, people want to get the full effects of their prescription Retin-A.
Right.
And don't necessarily want that buffer unless they're just starting and they're acclimating to it. So that's my best advice. I like to use them at opposite times of the day.
Perfect. And I just saw another question go by, and I actually think it was asked yesterday as well. Somebody sent it in. Can they use their growth factor serums, NeoGenesis serums, with, say, vitamin C or AHAs, BHAs, or should they be separating these ingredients out in their routine?
I use them together with great success. I love it. So in the morning, I will apply my recovery. And here's how I feel with vitamin C's. We know recovery is always going to be the first product you put on. And it makes sense because it's so thin anyway that you gravitate towards that thinnest to thickest.
Right.
What I will say is if you're using an L-ascorbic acid vitamin C that's very thin and very watery, and you're using skin serum or booster that has more weight to it, I would put the vitamin C on first if it's thinner. Then follow with the booster or the skin serum. If you're using a vitamin C that has more viscosity to it, maybe it's got some esters in it, and it's more hydrating, then use the NeoGenesis first. We don't want to block those molecules from getting where they need to go. So always first, and then look at the consistency and weight of your vitamin.
Perfect. Great, great. And then I know you probably have to go soon, but I did see like 2 different people ask this question. So can they use recovery every day? Can that just be their sole growth factor? Or because it is such a high amount, is it like in excess? Do they really need something that high in growth factors every day?
I do.
Who are we kidding?
I have used recovery twice a day, every day for 5 years.
And look at your skin. It's amazing. So
I live in the desert. It's always sunny, which I love. I'm 10 years past menopause. So I take into consideration all of those things. And that's how I decide. It won't hurt you if you do and you don't need it. You will just be spending a lot of money for something that's kind of just absorbed by the skin. It isn't really doing anything for you. Originally, our Dr. McGuire developed skin serum as your daily twice-a-day serum. And his idea for recovery was for those chronic skin conditions or 3 to 4 times a week to add to the skin, to keep it at its best.
And that's really how I usually recommend it, but that's good to hear you say that. That's totally fine.
Yeah, and that's how, you know, and then estheticians got a hold of it and said, hey, wait a minute, this is really great. I'm going
to look young forever.
And it is quite good for the skin. So if you are of a certain age, we know that anyone over menopause age, you lack the hormones, your enzymes, your processes slow way down, and damage becomes much more apparent. For that reason, I use it twice a day.
Perfect.
If I were younger, I would not need to do that. I could do just as you've said, Leah.
Perfect. Yeah, good to know. This was so wonderful. You guys have like the best questions. I feel bad, but I know, Pam, you're so busy that I don't want to take more of your time. But thank you guys for all the questions. It was so nice seeing everybody and you, of course. It's been so long, so we're obviously going to have to do this again soon. So I'll go ahead and like jot some of these questions that I know we didn't get an answer to, and hopefully we can schedule something soon. And I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. So thank you guys for joining us.
Congrats on your place, Leah.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, let me show my shelf, the NeoGenesis shelf one more time. So I'm sitting down, but when I'm standing, it's perfect. I love it.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thanks. Okay, guys, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye, Jeff.